Daniel opened his eyes slowly, his head heavy and his body weak. He was not on Earth, not in his bed, not anywhere familiar. Cold light filled the air, glowing from the walls themselves. There were no lamps, no windows, only shining white-blue panels that pulsed like they were alive. Daniel tried to move, and he realized he was lying on a smooth silver floor. The surface was warm under him, almost too warm, like it was breathing. He sat up quickly, his heart beating fast. The place was strange, silent, and yet he could hear a soft humming sound. The sound was not from a machine, it was deeper, like the ship itself was singing. He looked around, searching for answers. The walls were curved, smooth, and perfect. There were no doors, no cracks, no sign of how he had entered. It felt like being trapped inside a giant pearl. Daniel's mind screamed with questions on where am I? Who brought me here? Then he saw her. A figure standing across the room, waiting, watching. She was tall, slim, and glowing faintly like the walls. Her skin shimmered with pale silver light, and her long hair floated as if underwater. Her eyes were wide, bright, and playful. She looked like a young woman, but Daniel knew instantly she was not human. The alien girl smiled, not a cruel smile, but a teasing, curious one. Her lips curved as if she already knew what Daniel would say. Before he spoke, she tilted her head, studying him like a cat studies a mouse. Daniel tried to speak, his voice shaking. Who are you? What do you want from me? The girl did not answer, not at first. Instead, she raised her hand slowly, her fingers glowing with a soft light. And in that single motion, Daniel's world turned upside down. His clothes vanished, not torn, not burned, not removed by force. They were simply gone. In an instant, he was left bare, exposed, defenseless. He gasped, his face burning with shame. He covered himself with his arms, stepping back, but there was nowhere to run. No door, no exit, only her eyes on him. The alien girl laughed softly. It was not loud or harsh. It was a playful laugh, the kind a child gives when they win a small game. Her eyes sparkled with amusement as she watched Daniel struggle with his shock. Why are you doing this? Daniel asked, his voice breaking. He was not angry, not yet, only confused and afraid. The girl walked closer, her bare feet silent on the glowing floor. She circled him slowly, like a dancer, her eyes never leaving him. Her smile grew wider as she leaned close to whisper, "Because it is fun." Daniel shivered. Her voice was soft, musical, but also dangerous. This was not a test, not an attack, not even punishment. She had stripped him only for her amusement. To her, a human was not a person but a toy. Daniel felt his pride burning inside him, but he also felt fear. What else could she do with just a flick of her hand? The alien girl stepped back, folding her arms. She studied him as if waiting for his next move. Daniel stood frozen, his body tense. He wanted to shout, to demand answers, but something in her eyes told him it would not matter. She was in control, and she enjoyed reminding him of it. Time stretched long in the silent chamber. Daniel's breathing was loud in his ears. He thought about Earth, about home, about how far away it must be now. He thought about the strange power this girl held. And he wondered, was she alone? Or were there more like her watching? The girl broke the silence at last. "You humans are so easy to surprise," she said. Her voice was calm, playful, but under it there was a strange echo. It was as if many voices spoke through her at once. Daniel could not tell if it was a trick or her true form. He took a step forward, forcing courage into his voice. "You think this is a game," he said, "but humans are not toys." The girl blinked in surprise, then laughed again. Not angry, not offended, delighted. "You are brave, little human," she said. "That will make this more interesting." Daniel's heart raced. He was afraid, but he had spoken the truth. And for the first time, he saw something shift in her eyes. Not just playfulness, but curiosity. Like she had found something new, something she had never seen before. The alien girl leaned close again, her silver hair brushing against his shoulder. "You are mine now," she whispered. "Let us see how long your bravery lasts." Daniel's chest tightened. He did not know if this was the beginning of torment or the start of something stranger. All he knew was that he was trapped, alone, and naked before an alien who thought humans existed only for her fun. The ship hummed louder, the lights grew brighter, and Daniel realized his trial had only just begun. Daniel stood frozen in the glowing chamber, his breath fast and shallow. The alien girl circled him slowly, her silver eyes watching every movement. Her smile never faded, soft and teasing, as if he was nothing more than a puzzle she wanted to solve. Daniel pulled his arms across his body, trying to cover himself, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not hide from her gaze. She was not staring with cruelty, not like a hunter at prey. It was worse. She looked at him with amusement, like a child playing with a toy. "Why?" Daniel asked again, his voice stronger this time. "What do you get from this? Do you want me afraid?" The alien girl tilted her head, her long silver hair sliding across her shoulder, her lips curled into a playful grin. "I want to see what you do when the rules are gone," she said. "When you cannot hide behind your clothes, your pride, your lies." Daniel's heart pounded. This was not just a prank. It was a test. She wanted to strip away more than cloth. She wanted to strip away his defenses, but he would not give her the satisfaction. He stood taller, dropping his arms to his sides. His cheeks burned with shame, but he forced himself to look her in the eyes. "You can take my clothes," Daniel said, his voice shaking. "But you cannot take who I am." The alien girl's smile widened. Her eyes sparkled with delight. "Oh, brave little human," she whispered. "Do you think courage will save you here?" She raised her hand again, and the air shimmered. In an instant, the floor beneath Daniel shifted. The smooth silver surface melted away into something else. The ground turned to sand, hot and burning. Above him, the walls vanished, replaced by an endless desert sky. Daniel gasped. He could feel the heat, the dry wind cutting against his skin. The glowing chamber was gone, replaced by an illusion so real it made his throat ache for water. He turned in circles, but the alien girl was still there, untouched. She walked across the burning sand barefoot, smiling as if it were nothing. "This is impossible," Daniel whispered. The girl giggled, her voice like bells. "Nothing is impossible when I decide what is real." She snapped her fingers. The desert vanished. The sand, the sky, the wind, gone in a breath. Daniel was back on the silver floor, trembling, sweat dripping down his face. The alien girl leaned close, her eyes shining. "Do you understand now?" she asked. "I can make your world whatever I want it to be. I can give you fire or ice or darkness. I can break your mind as easily as I took your clothes." Daniel swallowed hard. He wanted to shout, to fight, but his voice caught in his throat. She was right. He was powerless, but even powerless, he refused to kneel. "You can change the world around me," he said at last, "but you cannot change me. I am still Daniel. I am still human." The alien girl froze for a moment. Her smile softened, her eyes narrowing as she studied him. She expected him to cry, to beg, to fall apart. Instead, he stood before her, trembling but defiant. "You humans," she whispered. "You are fragile, so weak, but you burn bright inside. It is strange. It is amusing." She circled him again, her eyes thoughtful now, not only playful. Daniel felt her presence pressing against his mind, like a cold wind. But he pushed back with memories, his family, his home, his life on Earth. He clung to them, like a shield. The alien girl stopped and tilted her head. "You are trying to resist me," she said softly. "Good. I like when they resist. It makes the game more fun." She lifted her hand again. This time the walls filled with shadows. Shapes moved within them. Tall creatures with many arms, faceless and monstrous. They stepped forward, their hands reaching for Daniel. The shadows hissed, their touch cold as they closed around him. Daniel's chest tightened, fear clawed at his mind. But he forced himself to remember her laughter, her smile. This was another trick. Another game. None of this is real, he whispered. The shadows froze, their faceless heads turning toward him. Daniel raised his voice. None of this is real. You cannot break me with tricks. The illusion shattered. The monsters melted away. The shadows fled. The chamber returned to silver light. The alien girl clapped her hands softly, laughing with delight. Very good, human, she said. You are more fun than the others. Most cry, most beg, but you fight, you make the game worth playing. Daniel's breathing slowed. He was shaking, but he felt a small spark of victory. She wanted him afraid, but he had not given in. Even naked, even trapped, he had kept his pride. The alien girl stepped closer, her eyes glowing brighter. Her voice dropped low, almost serious. Perhaps you will last longer than I thought, she whispered. Perhaps you will even teach me something new. Daniel's stomach twisted. He did not know if that was a promise or a threat, but he knew one thing for certain. The game had only just begun. The chamber was quiet again. The silver walls glowed softly, humming with a rhythm like a heartbeat. Daniel stood in the center, his body tense, his mind racing. The alien girl smiled at him, her silver hair floating as if touched by unseen wind. You did well, she said softly. You did not fall to fear, but courage alone is not enough. I want to see your mind. Daniel frowned, his voice rough. My mind is mine, not yours to play with. The girl tilted her head, her eyes shining with playful curiosity. Oh, human, she whispered. Everything you are is mine. Your body, your fear, your thoughts. All of it belongs to me while you are here. She raised her hand and the air trembled. Daniel felt pressure inside his skull, like invisible hands pushing into his brain. Memories flashed before his eyes. His childhood home, his parents' laughter, the streets of his city, the stars above Earth's night sky. The alien girl watched every flicker in his eyes. Yes. Show me more, she said. Show me what makes humans fight when they should kneel. Daniel gritted his teeth. He tried to push her out. He clung to memories of Earth, but she twisted them. His home burned in her vision. His parents' voices turned to screams. She laughed softly. See? Even your strongest thoughts can be broken. Daniel's chest heaved, sweat dripping down his face, but deep inside, a stubborn fire burned. He thought of his own words. She can take the world, but she cannot change me. He focused on something simple, something pure, the memory of standing under the stars as a boy, looking up at the sky, dreaming of one day touching them. That dream was his, untouchable. He wrapped himself in it like armor. The alien girl frowned for the first time. Her hand trembled slightly. You hide behind small dreams, she said. Why hold on to such weak things? Daniel looked her in the eye. Because dreams are what make us human. You will never understand that. The girl's eyes narrowed. For a moment, the playful spark dimmed. She leaned closer, her voice low. Perhaps I will understand, if I break yours. The chamber shifted again. The walls dissolved, replaced by the endless void of space. Daniel floated naked among the stars, the cold biting into his skin. Below him, Earth appeared, blue, green, alive. He reached out, but it drifted farther and farther away. The alien girl's voice echoed all around him. You are nothing in the great dark, a fragile spark, lost in the endless night. Daniel's chest tightened, fear clawing at him. But he forced himself to breathe. He looked at Earth, so small, so distant, and then he smiled, weak but real. Even if I am small, he said, I belong to that world, and no illusion can take it from me. The void cracked like glass. The stars shattered. The Earth vanished. Daniel fell hard onto the silver floor of the chamber. Pain shot through him, but he laughed. A raw, defiant sound. The alien girl stood over him, her eyes wide. She was not laughing now. Instead, she looked at him with something new. Respect. You resist more than I expected, she whispered. You are not like the others. Daniel forced himself to sit up, his body shaking. "What happened to the others?" he asked. The girl smiled again, but it was sharper now. "They broke," she said simply. "They cried, they begged, they became empty, but you fight, it makes me want to keep you longer." Daniel's skin crawled at her words. He was not a guest, he was a prisoner. But he would not give her his fear. "Maybe you keep me," he said, "but maybe I change you instead." The alien girl froze. Her lips parted, her silver eyes flickering with surprise. Then she laughed again, a bright, echoing laugh. "You think you can change me?" she asked. "No human has ever changed me." Daniel stared at her, steady and unflinching. "There's a first time for everything," he said. For the first time, her smile faltered. She turned away, walking slowly across the glowing floor. Her hair shimmered. Her bare feet silent. She did not look back as she spoke. "Be careful, human," she whispered. "Hope is the sweetest thing to break." The chamber dimmed, the lights fading to a dull glow. Daniel sat alone, his body trembling but his mind sharp. He had survived her games again, but he knew this was only the beginning. The alien girl was not done, and neither was he. The chamber was quiet again, its silver walls glowing faintly. Daniel sat on the floor, breathing slowly, trying to calm his mind. The alien girl had tested his body and his mind, but he had not broken. For the first time since he woke on this ship, Daniel felt a spark of pride. He looked up, searching for her. She stood across the chamber, her silver hair drifting as if touched by unseen winds. Her eyes studied him closely, not with the sharp cruelty of before. Now there was something else in them. Curiosity, maybe even wonder. "You are different," she said softly. "Most humans scream, cry, or beg after I show them what I can do. But you stand back up." Daniel gave a tired smile. "Maybe you underestimate humans," he replied. "Maybe we are stronger than you think." The alien girl tilted her head, her lips curved into that familiar playful smile. But it was weaker now. "You are strong, yes, but you are also strange. Why cling to hope when you are mine? Why hold to pride when you are naked, powerless, alone?" Daniel pushed himself to his feet, his legs shaking. "Because that's who I am. Take away everything else. But I'm still me. And you can't change that." The girl stepped closer, her silver eyes narrowing. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she whispered almost to herself, "You speak like no one I have ever kept before." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean? You've done this many times?" Her smile returned, but this time it looked sad. "Yes, many. Humans are curious, amusing, fragile, easy to play with. But they always break. Always, until now." Her words sent a chill through him. He was not the first, and if he failed, he would not be the last. Still, Daniel saw something in her eyes, a shadow, a loneliness she was trying to hide. He stepped closer, though every instinct told him to stay back. "Why do you do this?" he asked quietly. "Do you enjoy hurting people?" The alien girl blinked, taken aback. "I do not hurt them," she said, almost defensive. "I play, I test, I keep myself from boredom." Her voice trembled slightly on the last word. Daniel studied her face. Her smile was still there, but it looked thinner now, almost fragile. "You're lonely," he said. The girl's eyes widened, the glow inside them flickering. "Lonely," she repeated, as if the word itself was strange to her. "Yes," Daniel said firmly. "You hide it with games, but you're alone on the ship. No one to talk to, no one to laugh with. So you take humans and make them your toys. It's not fun, it's just empty." The alien girl stood silent. For the first time, she did not smile, did not laugh. Her eyes searched Daniel's face, looking for lies, but there were none. At last, she whispered, "Perhaps you are right. Perhaps I am lonely." Her voice was soft, almost fragile. Daniel felt a strange shift in the air. The tension eased. Though not completely, he took a breath. "If you're lonely, then why not try something different?" he asked. "Why not talk to humans instead of tormenting them? Why not be a friend instead of a captor?" The girl tilted her head again, her silver hair falling over her shoulder. "Friend," she said, testing the word like it was unfamiliar. "I do not have friends. I do not need them." But her voice was unsteady, as if she was unsure. Daniel smiled faintly. "Maybe you don't need them, but maybe you want them." Her lips parted, but no words came out. She looked away, her hands clenching at her sides. For a moment, Daniel thought he saw pain flicker across her face. The silence stretched until she broke it with a laugh. It was soft, forced, not her usual playful tone. "You are clever, human," she said. "You see things I did not wish to show. But do not think this means I am weak. The game is not over." Daniel straightened, meeting her eyes. "I know," he said, "but maybe the game is changing." Her smile returned, sharper now, but her eyes betrayed her. They were not as cold as before, not as distant. Something was shifting between them. Not trust, not yet, but something close. The alien girl stepped back, her form shimmering with silver light. "Perhaps I will keep you longer," she whispered. "Perhaps you will be more than a toy. We will see." The chamber grew dim again, the walls humming softly. Daniel stood in the fading light. His body was still weak, his pride still tested, but for the first time he felt the girl's power was not endless. Beneath her games and illusions, there was a lonely soul, and maybe, just maybe, that was something he could reach. As the silence deepened, Daniel whispered to himself, "If she wants a game, I'll give her one, but not the kind she expects." The chamber pulsed once with silver light, and somewhere in the shadows, the alien girl's soft laughter echoed. Not cruel, not sharp, but uncertain. The first sign that perhaps, just perhaps, she was beginning to feel something new. The chamber pulsed with silver light. Daniel sat against the smooth wall, his body aching but his mind awake. He thought about her words, about her loneliness. For the first time, the alien girl seemed less like a goddess and more like a person. But he knew the game was not over. It was only changing. The sound of soft footsteps echoed. She appeared again, drifting forward with her strange grace. Her silver hair glowed faintly, her playful smile returned. But behind her eyes, Daniel saw something else. Hesitation, maybe even conflict. "You are quiet today," she said, her voice carrying that musical tone. "Are you afraid? Or are you planning something?" Daniel shook his head. "I was thinking," he said simply, "thinking about you." The alien girl raised her brows, her smile widening. "About me?" she asked, teasing. "Do you already love your captor, human?" Daniel did not look away. "Not love," he said firmly. "But I want to understand you. Why you do this, why you keep humans." Her smile wavered. For a moment her playful mask slipped. "You would not understand," she whispered. Daniel stepped closer, his voice steady. "Try me." The chamber grew darker, the silver walls fading to shadow. The alien girl lifted. Her hand and the air shimmered. Images appeared around them. Not illusions of monsters or deserts, but visions of her world. Daniel gasped. He saw tall towers of light rising into endless skies, ships made of silver fire gliding through stars, crowds of glowing beings all like her, walking across bridges of glass and air. The beauty was overwhelming. But Daniel noticed something else. Their eyes, cold, empty, watching without feeling. "They are my people," the alien girl said softly. "We are old, older than your world. We mastered the stars long before humans learned fire." Daniel turned slowly, his eyes wide. "Then why take me? Why take humans at all?" Her lips curved into a faint smile. "Because you are Interesting. She walked closer. Her voice, low, my people do not laugh, they do not dream, they do not play. We grew beyond such things, but when we found humans, we saw something different. A spark we thought we had lost. Daniel's stomach twisted. A spark? We're not toys for your amusement. The alien girl studied him, her expression unreadable. You say that, but my people disagree. To them, humans are entertainment. You burn bright, but you burn fast. Your courage, your hope, your passion. It is a fire we no longer feel, so we take it from you. Daniel's fists clenched. Do you hear yourself? You treat us like actors in a play, like pets. Her eyes flashed with silver light. Not pets, examples, reminders of what we once were. Do you know how many of your kind I have tested, broken, and watched fall? Daniel's chest tightened. He thought of all the others trapped like him, used for amusement. His voice was sharp now, filled with anger. You think that makes you greater than us? It only makes you hollow. The alien girl's smile faded. Her eyes narrowed, and for a moment Daniel thought she might strike him. But instead she turned away, her voice softer. Perhaps it does. Perhaps we are hollow. That is why I keep you, Daniel. That is why I play. You are different. You fight, even when you should surrender. Daniel swallowed hard. He should have felt proud, but instead he felt a cold weight inside him. If she truly believed humans were only sparks for her people to feed on, what chance did he have to change her? He stepped forward, his voice firm. You don't need to break humans to see what we are. You could learn, you could feel again. If you stopped treating us like toys. The alien girl turned back to him. Her silver eyes shimmered, uncertain. Learn, she whispered. We do not learn from humans, we study them, we enjoy them. But her voice trembled, and Daniel caught it. Doubt. He pressed harder. You're lonely because you pretend to be above us, but maybe, deep inside you want what humans have, not power, not control, but connection, real connection. She froze, her body tense, her eyes locked on his for the first time. The room was silent without her laughter. The hum of the ship seemed distant, as if holding its breath. At last she whispered, You speak dangerous words, human. Daniel did not flinch. Maybe, he said, but maybe you need to hear them. The alien girl turned away sharply. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver as she walked into the shadows. You do not understand, she said, her voice cold again. My people are watching. They hear, they see. If they think I grow soft, they will take you from me, and you will not survive what they do. Daniel's chest tightened. He was not only facing her games, he was facing an entire race that saw humans as nothing but sparks to burn. But in her voice, he also heard something new, fear. The chamber pulsed once with bright light, then the alien girl vanished, leaving him alone in silence. Daniel stood in the empty room, his fists tight. Now he knew the truth. He was not just fighting for himself. He was fighting against an entire alien people, and the only ally he had was the very girl who held him captive. Daniel stood alone in the glowing chamber. The silence pressed heavy against him. The alien girl had vanished, but her words still echoed in his mind. My people are watching. If they think I grow soft, they will take you from me. He paced across the floor, his bare feet tapping against the smooth surface. For the first time since he woke here, he did not feel only fear. He felt something stronger, determination. He was not just a toy, not just a spark to be burned. If her people were watching, then he would show them what it meant to be human. The chamber pulsed suddenly, light rippling across the walls. She returned, her silver form stepping out of the air itself. But her face was different now. No playful smile, no teasing spark. Her eyes were sharp, heavy with conflict. They do not like you, she said quietly. Daniel straightened, his chest tight. Who? My people, she whispered. They watch through me. They judge through me. They say I waste time. They say you should be broken quickly like the others. Daniel clenched his fists. And what do you say? The alien girl's lips parted, but no words came. For once, she seemed uncertain. Her silver eyes flickered as if two voices fought inside her. At last she whispered, I do not know. Daniel stepped closer, ignoring the fear burning in his chest. You don't have to follow them, he said firmly. You're not empty like the rest of them. You laugh, you play, you feel. That makes you different. She looked at him sharply, her voice almost a hiss. Different is dangerous. Do you not understand? They erased difference long ago. No joy, no dreams, no weakness, only control. Daniel shook his head. Then that's not strength. That's death of the soul. And you know it. That's why you keep me. That's why you haven't broken me. Yet her breath caught for a moment, her eyes softened, but then the air trembled and a deep voice filled the chamber. It was cold, layered, not hers. Daughter of silver light, it said. Do not forget your place. The human is fire. Fire must be contained or it will burn. Daniel froze. The voice was not hers. It was her people, speaking through her. The alien girl bowed her head, her silver hair falling like a curtain. Yes, she said softly. I hear you. The light in the chamber grew harsh, burning white. Daniel felt the pressure of unseen eyes. He stood taller, forcing his voice steady. Then hear me too, he shouted. The chamber shook with his words. You call us fire? Then know this. Fire also warms, fire also builds. Without it, you are nothing but cold stone. You fear us because you forgot what it means to live. The pressure pressed harder against him, crushing his chest, but he did not bow. The alien girl looked at him wide-eyed. Her lips trembled as if fighting to keep control of her own voice. At last the heavy presence faded. The light dimmed. The cold voice silent. She fell to her knees, shaking. Daniel rushed to her side. What happened? Her eyes shimmered with tears of silver. They are angry. They say I am weak. They say I will be punished if I do not end this game soon. Daniel touched her shoulder. You don't have to obey them. You can choose. Her eyes snapped up. To his, choose. You do not understand, human. There is no choice. Choice is forbidden. We are what they command us to be. Daniel leaned closer, his voice hard. Then be the first to break that rule. You told me humans burn bright, maybe. It's time you take some of that fire for yourself. The alien girl's lips parted, her face filled with shock and fear. No one had ever spoken to her like this before. No one had dared. The chamber pulsed again, shadows swirling on the walls. This time she stood quickly, her body trembling. They are calling me. They want me to decide now. Daniel's heart pounded. What will you do? She turned to him, her silver eyes blazing. I do not know, she said, her voice breaking. But if I choose you, if I defy them, it will not end with laughter. It will end with war. The word echoed through the chamber. War. Daniel swallowed hard. He had no weapon, no plan, nothing but his voice, but still he said, Then let it end with war. Better to fight for something real than live forever as nothing. Her body shook, her hands glowing with silver fire. Tears shimmered in her eyes. For the first time, she was not the one in control. She was caught between her people and the one human who refused to break. She stepped closer, whispering, You are madness, Daniel. But you are also hope. The chamber shook violently. The walls cracked with light. Her people were forcing her to act. Daniel braced himself, his eyes locked on hers. Choose, he said. Not for them. Not for me. For yourself. The alien girl raised her hands, silver energy swirling. Her face twisted with pain and fear. The chamber roared with voices, her people demanding obedience. But in her eyes, Daniel saw the battle. For the first time in her life, she was not only their daughter, she was something else, something more. And in the silence that followed, the fate of one human, and perhaps more, balanced on her choice. The chamber trembled as if alive, the walls burning with silver fire. Daniel stood firm, though the light stung his eyes and heat scorched his skin. He could feel the weight of countless voices pressing against the air, her people shouting through her, demanding she obey. The alien girl stood in the center, her hands raised, her body trembling with power that threatened to tear the room apart. Her silver eyes flickered like twin storms, caught between two worlds. Daniel's chest rose and fell with sharp breaths, but his voice was steady as he spoke. Choose not for them, not even for me. Choose for yourself. His words cut through the noise like a blade, simple and human, but carrying a weight her people had forgotten long ago. She turned her eyes toward him, her lips parting in silent struggle. For the first time, her playful smile was gone, stripped away until only raw fear remained. The voices grew louder, echoing across the walls. Break him. End the game. He is fire. Fire must be controlled. The demand was merciless, endless, cold. Daniel felt the pressure push down on him like a mountain. His knees buckled, but he did not fall. He forced his gaze to stay locked on hers. You're not hollow, he whispered. You feel. That's why they fear you. That's why you can be more than them. Her silver tears slid down her cheeks, glowing as they fell onto the floor and hissed like sparks. She raised her hands higher, energy gathering in swirling streams of light. Daniel braced himself. Maybe this was the end. Maybe she would destroy him here and now. Yet as the roar of her power filled the chamber, her lips trembled with a single word. Enough. The light froze. The voices fell silent. For a heartbeat, there was only the sound of her breathing. Then she dropped her hands, the energy collapsing into nothing, fading like mist. She stood tall, her face pale, but her eyes blazing with something new. Defiance. No, she said aloud, her voice echoing like thunder. I will not break him. I will not obey. The walls cracked with silver light as if her words had shattered the chamber itself. The voices screamed back in fury, 1,000 angry whispers tearing at the air. Traitor. Weak. You will fall with him. The alien girl stepped forward, her silver hair flowing around her face, her eyes never leaving. Daniel, if fire must be contained, then let me burn with it. Her words struck like a blade through the silence. Daniel felt his throat tighten. She had chosen. Not her people. Not obedience. But him. The chamber roared as unseen forces crashed down upon them. The walls shook, the silver glow shattering into black fractures. Daniel staggered, but the alien girl reached out and caught his arm. Her grip was firm, her touch warm despite the storm around them. Stay close, she whispered, or they will tear you apart. He met her gaze and saw something there he never expected. Trust. Not playful amusement, not cold study, but real, fragile trust. He nodded, too breathless to speak. Together, they stood against the storm. The air split open, and a vision of her people filled the chamber. Tall figures of silver light surrounded them, their faces expressionless, their eyes empty. They towered above like gods carved from fire. One stepped forward, its voice sharp and cold. You have broken our law. You have chosen the human. You are no longer of us. The alien girl raised her chin. Then I am no longer of you. I am my own. Undai, silver figures shrieked with a sound that was not sound but pure fury. The chamber began to collapse, walls folding in on themselves, floor trembling under Daniel's feet. He stumbled, but she pulled him close, her arms wrapping around him. Do not fear, she whispered. They cannot take you while I hold you. The light swallowed them both. Daniel felt weightless, spinning through endless dark. He closed his eyes, waiting for the end, but instead the silence broke with laughter. Not cruel, not mocking, gentle. He opened his eyes and saw her, standing before him in the dark void, her silver light soft now, no longer harsh. They cast me out, she said quietly, but I am free. Her gaze lingered on him, almost shy. You did this. A human, small and fragile, made me choose. You showed me what even my people could not see. Daniel's chest ached with exhaustion, but he smiled. You made the choice yourself. That's what makes it real. The void around them began to shift, stars flickering into existence one by one. They were adrift in space, but not alone. She turned to him, her silver eyes glowing softly. Where does your fire take you now, Daniel? Back to Earth? Or forward, into the stars? He looked out at the endless sky, then back at her. Maybe both, maybe neither. But wherever it is, I'd rather not go alone. For a long moment, she was silent. Then slowly she smiled. Not the cruel, playful smile of before, but something warmer, something human. Behind them, the shattered voices of her people faded into nothing. Before them, the stars stretched wide, waiting. The alien girl reached for his hand, her silver fingers trembling as they touched his. And in that fragile, uncertain moment, Daniel realized the truth. Humans were fragile. Humans were fire. And fire could spread. The stars pulsed brighter, the void humming with life. The game was over, but something greater had just begun.